Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and podcast with your host Jamal Thompson and Chris Perry in its NFL Week 2 recap. How you doing today, Chris?
Man, I'm good, but I'm ready to hop straight into this. So we're gonna start off with Thursday night football, Vikings and Eagles.
A lot of the Eagles, Vikings came out and played well. I mean, we had a pretty good preview, I say. Me, you, and Matt covering that one. DeAndre Swift had the breakout we were expecting. Hopefully that can continue for the rest of the year. Kirk played a pretty clean game. Played great in prime time. There were just too many turnovers on the Viking side. Who knows what could have happened if that Justin Jefferson fumble didn't happen before half. But nice win for the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know about nice win for the Eagles because they didn't even look the best, nor did they dominate how I thought they would. They did edge out a win, so can't complain too much, but I did expect a lot better performance from Jalen Hurts. On the other end, I was wrong about Justin Jefferson. He is that guy. He didn't get blanketed, so he had a little game. Kirk Cousins had a game. He had 364 and 4 touchdowns. I don't think he had any turnovers. But yeah, it's the same issue for the Vikings. Where's the D? Because don't exist. So next game is my favorite, Ravens and Bengals.
That was a tough one for the boys. Y'all gave up a bunch of opportunities in the red zone as far as I can tell. We mentioned on the AFC North preview, how does Burrow look with the calf? You laughed it off. I think it's a real concern now. Also, Zach Taylor's play calling is rearing its head again, so that's also not fun.
Yeah.
Baltimore looking a little bit better on offense. OBJ went down with a little ankle injury, so we have to keep an eye on that. And of course, they tracked out Gus and Justice Hill this week. Got the job done enough, but I still don't think the running game is solid enough, so they still need to figure out that. But tough for the Bengals boys. 0-2 to start the season. How you feeling?
Feeling like last week. Zach Taylor loves a 3-point game. This time we lose by 3 points, so a little bit better. But it's the same issues we always have. We're a second half team. We came out in the second half playing a little bit better, but we ran out of time towards the end, which is why we cannot play like this. Why was Joe Burrow playing if he was so injured? We could have been 0-2 without him, but now we're 0-2 without him and then some, so hopefully he's able to come back soon. I'm not expecting him for Monday Night Football this week, nor do I want him, and we're playing a Rams team that looks pretty damn good, so I don't know. Like, if this is the end of Zach Taylor, by all means, so be it. I'm glad you got his chase, but we got to progress from here on out. So next game, Seahawks-Lions.
Seahawks came out, played very well in Detroit. Metcalf went down with injury. Very tough to see. But Geno had quite a bit of a comeback. Detroit looked like they were going to get ahead a little bit. They were able to bring the game close again, win it in OT. Tyler Lockett is still looking like the best receiver on that roster right now. We'll give time for JSN to kind of break in, but Tyler Lockett is just a model of consistency for that team. So, great win for the Seahawks to kind of try to keep pace in the NFC West. And Lions didn't look horrible, but they lost David Montgomery for a little bit. And Jahmyr Gibbs is that usage is starting to get a little concerning because you figured he'd take over. That didn't really happen.
Yeah, a lot of propaganda this week. Fed the same lies. We're going to use Gibbs in more ways this week. Gives him 7 carries. Love to see it. If you want to win Detroit, you might want to use them. I don't know. This was a good game. Took overtime. Seattle was able to come back. But like you said, it's like I don't know what's going on with Detroit. I expect them to be a lot better. I expect them to win this game. But it looks like the veterans came in clutch with Geno and Tyler. So on to the next week for them boys. So next game, we got Colts-Texans.
AR, looking electric for all of, 2 drives. He needs to be safer with how he runs the ball. He needs to protect himself.
Yeah.
Successful run, had 2 rushing touchdowns. My big takeaway is a fantasy takeaway. CJ Stroud looks a lot better. Had a great day. Nico Collins and Tank Dell had great days. And Zach Moss might be, if he's out there on your waivers, he probably shouldn't be. But if Zach Moss is out there on your waivers, 98% of offensive usage, we take that. We love volume, and he looks good with the volume. So go ahead and go pick you up some Zach Moss, because who knows when JT will be back.
Yeah, I've been reading a couple of reports he might end up in with the Colts still, so definitely keep an eye on JT, but definitely go pick up Moss while you can, worth the risk. Like you said, volume's there. I did expect the Texans D to be a little bit better this week, but I guess they had other plans. AR looked good until the concussion, so just be on the lookout for that. Should be back next week, no problem, but the hits, man, I don't know. It's something to look forward to throughout this season.
Now,
yeah.
Hasn't finished the full game on his own, so.
Yeah, so next game we got the Bears and the Buccaneers.
The Justin Fields experiment is starting to get a little bit worrisome. I mean, they add DJ Moore to the offense, and he actually had a pretty solid day for him. Tampa is a tough defense to play in Tampa, but a lot of what I was seeing is he was taking too long to make his reads and make decisions, and in the NFL, that doesn't flow. Also, they're still not helping him out too much with the play calling. On one of his pick sixes, I think the defense said it looked like they ran the same play out of the same scheme 3 times in a row. So on the third time, they just read it and picked it for 6. It's not all him. Obviously, there's a lot to be figured out there, but the parts that he can control, he does need to start doing a little bit better of a job of. Because then the Bears might be looking at, should we have kept the first pick this year? What's the plan going into the next draft? So we'll see. But great win for Tampa, 2-0 in the NFC South. Baker's starting to, feel pretty good over there.
Yeah, like I said earlier this year, Baker's job isn't too hard when you're thrown to a Hall of Fame receiver. So Mike Evans had a little week this week. Defense over the Bucs looks good. Made Justin Fields look a lot worse. I didn't expect him to be this bad starting out, but I also didn't expect him to be as great as people were talking about. Like, all that MVP talk was blasphemy. It was, pure madness. Like, come on. Don't put that much on the kid, but he will get better throughout the year. I do think it's going to take him time like anybody else. He's so young, so I'm not giving up on Fields just yet. If you can go get him cheap, go get him. But other than that, hold on, man. He'll pull through. So next we got your boys, Chiefs, Jags.
I'm feeling pretty deflated after this loss, man. I had all inclination that we'd win. I had a lot riding on the fact that we'd win. We played, I'd say, decent on defense. 13 points by was it 13-7? If I'm not mistaken.
For what?
For the score. I know the Chiefs did not put up.
No, 17-9.
17-9. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a correct inclination either. The Chiefs could have easily had 24. But we keep the offense looking rough all game, essentially. Played a good defensive scheme. You hold the Chiefs to 17 technically. I've rounded up to 24. That's not bad. And we get into the red zone on multiple occasions. Don't leave with any touchdowns. Cannot be the Chiefs that way. So I still think we're part of the cream of the crop of the AFC. I know it was a rough showing, but I'm not really giving up on the boys yet. Good game, but we got to do better and execute a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm only upset because I went 11 for 13 on NFL games this week, one of them being the Bengals and one of them being the Jags. And after watching the Jags game, it's clear that they could have won also. A couple catches just weren't able to reel them in. Like you said, you guys played a good game, just Chiefs just played a little better, and that's typically what they do. So it's good that you guys got it out your system early in the year. You know what it takes now, and hopefully you remember that later in the year when it'll matter the most in the playoffs. So,
we'll see them
like
again.
you said, I still got faith in the Jags. They still looking pretty good this year. Just a rough week for any NFL team, but overall Chiefs got the dub. So next we got, I don't know about that, but we got Packers, Falcons.
Jordan Love looks like the real deal, man. Bears, Atlanta are not, again, top tier defenses technically, but he is doing what he needs to do, moving the ball, throwing the rookie receivers, throwing the unknown names. You got Wicks catching a touchdown. You got Jaden Reed catching a touchdown, right? He's moving the ball and being efficient, so very happy for Jordan Love. I think the real story is Atlanta looks great. Desmond Ridder just doing what he has to do, not really going out of his shell, not making too many mistakes. Did have one pick this game, but was able to bring Atlanta back from being down. And Bijan looks like a monster. Taking ankles out there on the field. Atlanta wins the game. We'll see how much they can continue to try to, hone the top of the NFC South.
No, I agree with you. Love did what he did with what he had. You're missing Watson, missing Aaron Jones, and they're almost able to squeak a win. So he did what he was supposed to do in terms of the ball. Like you said, though, the Falcons are just doing what they need to do to win. They have a formula, and that formula works. Everyone thinks you need a superior quarterback to win this league. Clearly you don't. And the Falcons are looking good and looking like they can win their division because the Saints aren't looking the best either right now. So stay tuned for that one. I think that's going to chop up to be exciting towards the end of the year. Next, we got Raiders, Bills.
The Bills came back with a nice bounce back win. Raiders started off the game looking a little bit explosive. Quick TD to Devontae Adams. I think that ended up being their best drive of the day, to be honest. Gabe Davis got him a little touchdown. We did kind of call out that this would be his week to try to get right against the Las Vegas defense. Khalil Shakir, huge fan of that player. He also caught him a little touchdown. Josh Allen had a little bit of a bounce back. So this is the result we expected, honestly. And to keep pace in that AFC East now, the Bills had to do this. So shouts out to the Bills. And the Raiders, man, we didn't expect them to be very good. And based on what we've seen 2 weeks now, I mean, they did win the first week, but against a really bad Broncos team, it looks like not much to really write home about for the Raiders. Just keep playing the football games, man. Hopefully you guys will build something or figure something out, but I don't see this team winning much games at all.
Yeah, they're going to have to make a couple decisions later this year, the way it looks like, because they're not really playing winning football. They got a couple assets that they can move to build towards the future, so just keeping those in mind. More and more teammates seem to be getting frustrated, so could be a dumpster fire soon or sooner than we think. So stay tuned. And next we got Chargers, Titans.
I'm done, I think, putting money on the Chargers. I think I've retired them from any slips ever.
Tried to tell you, bro.
At this point, man, it's honestly mind-boggling. I don't know. You know, Titans have a formula, obviously. Derrick Henry didn't go for 100 yards, and they still won. I feel like that would have had to be a part of the formula. He did get about 18 carries. Tannehill played a little bit better this week, but I still don't understand where the Titans' points really came from this week, and how the Chargers, after seeing how many times I saw notifications of Keenan Allen touchdown, Keenan Allen deep catch, Keenan Allen deep catch, and they still find a way to not lock in this win. I don't know. And starting off the season 0-2 in that division, it's not a good look. I think Brandon Staley is on one of the hottest of seats in the NFL right now. His last 3 performances as head coach don't look pretty. Huge comeback loss to the Jags, and now starting the season 0-2. So I think he got to week 5 to figure it out. If they are 1-4 going into week 6, I think he loses his job midway through the season. So they got to do something.
Yeah. Just looking at the Chargers' loss, I did expect them to lose, but it was still a weird loss. They didn't have any turnovers. Herbert threw for 305 and 2 touchdowns. They just got outplayed, and it's the same thing we keep on seeing over and over again. It's not like they're playing bad, but they just can't finish games, which you have no excuse. You have so many stars on both sides of the ball. So what is it? At this point, like you said, you can only blame coaching. Like, I can name 2 other coaches that you give them that team, and they run rampant against definitely the Titans, but majority of the teams in the NFL. So
100% the Titans.
Yeah, 100% the Titans. So no slander to them. They have a good defense. They got a good scheme. They know how to win as well, but on paper, there's no way they should lose in overtime by 3. So next we got 49ers versus the Rams.
49ers did enough to win. The Rams did look good, though. Played a very competitive game. Puka Nacua is real.
Dude.
I don't know how McVay just keeps not really finding these diamonds in the rough. I have heard that he was a lot of deep fantasy analysts' favorite project receivers that were not project receivers, but favorite low targeted receivers in drafts and stuff to kind of, stash on your taxi squad. Great performer in college. But I did not. Nobody expected this. The most catches through 2 weeks from offensive player ever. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But McCaffrey's still doing his thing, RB1 status, and with the way the rest of the RB market looks, I think he has it locked up. Even if he gets hurt after week 6, you just need 6 healthy McCaffrey weeks. He probably finishes as RB1 because the landscape looks abysmal. Brock Purdy missed a few passes out there. Could have hit Debo deep. Could have hit Brandon Ayuk for a touchdown. Missed them both. so they left some points out there. But Niners still look good, 2-0, and I'd be surprised if they lose this division.
Yeah, good conference win. 49ers did what they had to do. Could have looked a lot better, but like you said, it's week 2. The Rams, though, I'm scared for Monday Night Football because they're going to find a way and they're going to get it done, especially with Burrow out. But Stafford's healthy. Nakua's the real deal. I know his name now. We were talking a lot of shit earlier. Like, what's his face? What's his name? I know his name.
You called it
He's him.
Puka, I think. Or Puka.
Yeah. Puka getting down now. That's all I'm saying. So Rams look good. If you bet on this game and you have the spread, I feel sorry for you. Yeah. I know it doesn't make sense.
Not at all. Very useless field goal, but you know how it goes.
It is what it is. So next we got, is this the game of the week? The Giants-Cardinals?
Bro, honestly, yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Saquon Barkley fantasy owner, then why does this always happen? Like, why? Literally, I watched it live. I was like, he's having a day. The comeback really helped his fantasy production, obviously, right? And it's literally they're just trying to run the ball down to get, a few more yards, get centered, and they fold his leg up, and I'm like, bruh. Literally 2 minutes left in the game. But yeah, Giants started off horribly. Their first 6 quarters of football was like 0 points, roughly. 60 points scored on them, and then I don't know what clicked, but Danny Dimes turned it on. They used the rookie a lot more. Jalen Hyatt, 2 big catches for 89 yards. Darren Waller getting involved. Of course, Barkley did his thing. And they pulled out the win. Obviously, it wasn't pretty. And it doesn't get any easier. Thursday Night Football against the Niners. You can take whatever spread you want on that one, I feel like.
It's at 10.5, I think.
Yeah, player prop wise, Danny Dimes rushing yards is free. He will be running for his life. That's all I really have. Honestly, it's tough. They're going to be 1-2 after Thursday. And it looks like Barkley's out for 3 weeks, so as a fantasy owner, it's tough to see the man go down again, but at least it's not as bad as it could have been. Hopefully, he doesn't milk it. We do know the RBs had a call about potentially letting lingering injuries be a little bit more lingering since y'all won't pay him, so let's keep an eye on if this 3-week timetable is actually what it turns out to be.
Yeah, that's what I hate about the NFL. It's like they want to do that, the allegation with the NFL's lingering injuries and all, or the running backs, but how are you going to say they're not worth what you want to pay them and then get frustrated when they aren't on the field when I thought they were worthless? I thought it was a dead position, but it's like every time it's like they're worthless and then let's get 2 first-round picks. So they're worthless, but we need you to pull up when you're injured. And it's like, make up your mind. Either pay them or don't. Otherwise, I really hope Justin Herbert was watching this game. He could learn a thing or two from Danny Dimes because he turned it on and he got it done. Even when it looked at the ugliest during the game, the Cardinals D showed up, and I've been advocating for them for the last 2 weeks. They've looked pretty good this year. So I think this is a strong comeback win from the Giants, very defining for the season. Proves they're not completely frauds, but still the Cardinals. So we'll see what they look like this week. Like you said, take the spread. I feel bad for Danny Dimes because he's missing his man in action, Barkley. But like you said, 3 weeks, be back, be fine. So next we got Jets-Cowboys.
I was told Zach Wilson is going to be good enough to kind of keep the ship right.
Slow down.
Look, he played one of the best defenses in the league. They look real for the second week in a row.
Yes.
Obviously, not to take away from the Cowboys, but bad offensive line in Giants. Danny Dimes, who's not traditionally the best passer. Then bad offensive line in Jets against Zach Wilson, who's not traditionally the best passer. Obviously, though, they're executing on all types of levels over there on the defense. Michael Parsons looked like he might win Defensive Player of the Year. There's a few guys looking really good. Him, T.J. Watt. But
we don't say that name.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. The only thing is I need to see that Cowboys offense put in a position where they have to move the ball consistently. CD had a great day, getting moved around the field, avoiding Sauce a little bit. But I do need to see that offense in a game where they can be worried about what the other offense will do. That hasn't happened yet. This offense hasn't looked great, but they haven't had to worry about the other offense scoring at all. So I need to get them in a game where I could, they feel a little pressure. They got to put up 24 points on their own. Something like that. will we see it? I don't know, because if this defense is legit, it might not matter at all. If this defense can do this to, who's their next matchup, week 3?
They play the Cardinals.
Never mind. We're gonna have to
I think they have to wait till like week 5.
Yeah,
week 5,
until they play the
49ers.
Niners or something like that to really be like, we'll see what the offense is about. I'm bought in on the defense now, but I need them to get challenged with an offense that has multiple people to go to and multiple facets, and it's not as easy as just blow their offensive line up and their QB makes a mistake, But good win for the Cowboys. Jets, you might need to be looking to move that first round pick.
No, you're spot on with your take on the Cowboys and their defense and their offense, but I gotta protect my dog Zach Wilson real quick. They gave him a week to prepare for arguably the best defense in the league right now. Come on, I knew he threw 3 interceptions, that's fine, but like you said, one of the best defenses we've seen from the Cowboys, let alone this year from any team, and he only had 7 days to prepare for that. So I wasn't expecting anything great to begin with. I mean, he did look how I expected, but same thing with the Cowboys offense and not being tested. I don't think that's a good test for Zach Wilson, especially with the circumstances given. I would at least give him a week, 2 more tops to turn it around, and then I'd look for other options. But I don't think you see him play the Cowboys like, all right, we need a replacement, because like I said, just the situation around it wasn't a good situation to begin with.
You're right.
Next we got what should have been game of the week, the Commanders-Broncos.
Yeah, that was nuts too. Sean Payton is not on a hot seat, but we're 0-2 now. When you're supposed to come in and really fix the team and fix the offense. Russ made a few horrible mistakes that I'm still trying to wrap my head around about what he saw on the field. Sam Howell got those boys to play well, brought them back from behind. Some great passes to, very legitimate NFL receivers. Terry McLaurin had a good day. Logan Thomas, shouts out to him. Big catch, even though he got targeted. It was a great day for the Commanders, and those boys are 2-0. Like, we were talking smack about them a little bit, and they might be this year's Seahawks for the channel, because they looked solid. Brian Robinson had a big day. Antonio Gibson, great catches out the backfield. I mean, they have quite a few weapons over there. Curtis Samuel didn't really get in the mix this much this week either, but they have weapons. Ron Rivera has them playing well. They look good. So shouts out the Commanders, and the Broncos are really, man, they need to figure something out.
Yeah, like you said, Sean Payton's first year, and like I've been telling all my friends, everyone just immediately assumed that Sean Payton would take over and the Broncos would just be great all of a sudden, but it takes time to wash away what happened last year. Like, you have to implement a new system, a new culture, all that takes time. So over this year, I think the Broncos will get better, but everyone was like, playoffs, Super Bowl, and I'm just like, do you know football? Like, unless you're Deion Sanders, the odds of that happening is very unlikely, like very, very unlikely. So no shade to the Broncos, but with anything great, it takes time. The Commanders are looking pretty good. First 2 weeks, I don't think it's the best test for them, but they got it done. They're 2-0. Howell looked a lot better this week, so that's all I can ask for. Next, we got the Dolphins and the Patriots.
Patriots, you just don't have the weapons to match up with that team. Now with the way the Jets are built, you guys should finish ahead of the Jets potentially now, unless they go out and acquire a quarterback. But they're still not the positional, I guess, value they have at wide receiver is so much lower than the rest of the teams in their division. It's just going to be a tough shout. And the Miami Dolphins didn't even play a great game. Not start to finish, but they had more weapons. Raheem Mostert was faster than 90% of the Patriots defense. Raheem Mostert. I didn't even get into the other guys yet. Right? So, good win for the Dolphins. 2-0, top of the AFC East, like I thought. And we move on to the next week.
Yeah, I like this game, but like you said, Dolphins didn't play the greatest. The Patriots still had a chance to win towards the end, but ended up liking out. Moser had a great game. That outside zone they were running was unstoppable, especially with how the receivers were doing. Like Tyreek Hill didn't have a dominating game in terms of stats, but in terms of role on the field, he was very impactful and a very big reason why that run was so successful. But I think the brightest of this all was Christian Gonzalez. Like he's nice. He's nice.
He's nice.
Like fluid, almost picked him up in fantasy.
Tall. I was about to say fluid, tall, looked great in coverage. I mean,
nice.
Sheesh.
So that's the end of the Sunday games. We're gonna go to our great doubleheader we had yesterday. Start off with the Saints and Panthers.
Great doubleheader, huh?
Phenomenal.
The Panthers, man. Bryce Young is not in a position to succeed currently. This might be a worse skill set group than the Patriots that I just mentioned. Your wide receiver one is Adam Thielen, who is 3-4 years past that window of being a true wide receiver one on anybody's team.
And he scored this week. Chill out.
He did. A lot of young talent on the field, but they haven't figured it out yet. So the Jonathan Mingos of the world, the Terrace Marshalls of the world. Maybe they'll get it one day. Laviska Shenault not getting much field time either. Miles Sanders is up and down. This week was down. Tough Saints front. Bryce is just back there, from what I could see, running around for his life. And they still had it. They were still in it. I mean, they covered the spread, depending what you got it at.
Yeah. Got it at -3. Disgusting.
So you pushed, but the Saints don't look good either. Like, the Saints don't look good on offense. They go out and get Derek Carr, who's supposed to be the quarterback to fix it for them. Honestly, it's not looking good currently at all. And I know it's partially because the run game isn't what it needs to be. They lose Jamal Williams, probably for a little bit of an extended time. Tough to see. But they just have one more week they have to hold out. Just one more week. That man is back. Yeah. So, they make it through this other week. 2-0 start. They can start 3-0 without Kamara. Then we could actually judge the offense. But for right now, it's not looking like what it's supposed to look like with Derek Carr. So, but we'll wait. We'll let the 1 week pass. When Kamara gets back, then we'll make a fair assessment.
Okay, you can wait. I'll make my assessment now. Carr is ass. I thought Carr would be good. Carr is not good. He had one interception where he threw it triple coverage. Not double, triple. Von Bell got it. And I'm just like, what did you see? Because nobody on the field, as soon as he threw the ball, I think they showed the replay of him just putting both hands on his helmet because he knew. But not only that, 2 trips to the red zone, not in sync with his receivers. One was wide open, missed. And then another one, I can't even explain, but it's like a lot of points are just left on the field to where you beat the Panthers by 3. And I know they're the Panthers, but J.C. Horn just went on IR, and they lost Shaq Thompson throughout that game. So it should have been a little bit easier. But even without Shaq Thompson, that Panthers front was demolishing that Saints line. Demolishing. And I will give Carr some slack in terms of pressure. He was dealing with a lot last night, but at the same time, you got Can't Guard Mike, who had a solid performance. You got Chris Olave, who had a great catch. And I know there's no run game, but you have enough to get it done. Like, I thought they should have just kept Taysom Hill at some points at quarterback because he was getting like 10 yards a carry. I know he got a little arm on him. They didn't show it last night. They probably saving it for the playoffs. But Carr, wake up, man. Like, damn.
For real. Wake up.
So, finish it off. We got the Monday Night Special, Browns versus Steelers.
This shit was ugly. You call it special. It was something special.
It was special.
It was special. Trust me. Bro, I have never seen a more discombobulated, like, series of events, especially that first half. I just don't know. And I mean, it was bound to happen with the way the game was looking that we'd have something crazy happen. Prayers up for Nick Chubb. Great athlete. Don't know if you guys saw the video we posted months back. We listed our top 5 running backs. And me personally, in terms of just the position of running the football, I think there were a few like him. I think I had him as my number 1 running back, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
You hate to see that kind of stuff alter somebody's career. And honestly, it's a knee that he dealt with prior. So there's not a good history of coming back a second time from that leg getting torn up. But I think if anybody could do it, he can. So I'm rooting for him for sure. One of my biggest takeaways from this whole thing is Deshaun Watson is a worry and a concern now. He has the weapons, still doesn't look great. That offensive line looked really bad against a really tough Steelers front. Maybe against an easier matchup, it won't look that egregious, but they pay guaranteed money to Watson for him not to play like an all-star level quarterback right now. Kenny Pickett still needs to figure some stuff out. The play calling is horrible. Najee looks like he's running in mud. He looks slow. Jalen Warren looks way more explosive. This is something that needs to be watched. Najee might be losing his job because you need somebody with that type of explosiveness to help the quarterback out when things aren't going right. When they hand the ball to Warren, the speed coming off of the handoff looks so much different compared to Najee Harris. And I know Najee has his benefits. Solid pass catcher, bigger back. But he just looks too slow, man. I don't know if he's just not conditioned well still. Maybe the foot's still a lingering issue, but he looks way slower than he did at Alabama. So I'm concerned fantasy-wise if I'm a Najee Harris owner. Great win for the Steelers, even though it was a very ugly one. Both defenses are legit, but both defenses possibly lost pieces last night. Minka, we don't know how long he'll be out. And Delpit was flying around the field, but he had some times where he had to sit off on the sidelines too. So tough game, good win for the Steelers, but I have a lot of questions for the AFC North still.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal a quote from all the Steelers fans last night, and I think they said, "Fire Matt Canada."
Yeah.
Like he's bad. Like you got weapons, you're bad, and I don't know if that's why Najee's playing so bad. Like he doesn't want to run for him, but Warren is coming for his job. It was like 3rd and 8 or 14, and they ran a little out route with him. Yeah, and he spun for the first down. Like that type of effort we haven't seen from Najee, like you said, since Bama. So, hey, players show up. If he takes it, so be it. But Kenny Pickett is trash. Been trash. I don't know if it's the play calling, but from what I've seen,
I think it was a little bit harsh to call the man garbage. I mean, they did pull the game out. He had some throws that looked great, right?
Yeah.
He had some throws that looked great, but I don't think he's getting put in a position to succeed, personally. And that offensive line that you were worried about, there is legitimate worry. He was under duress a lot of the night.
He was under duress a lot of the night, but first play of the second half, he threw it straight to the safety that just ended up dropping it because he tried to get 2 feet in. That wasn't the line. That was Kenny Pickett. So I'm going to say he's ass, and I'm going to go ahead and defend. I'm going to defend my boy Watson real quick. He played an elite defense that is known for winning games alone, and that's what happened last night. Like, you're right. He does have a lot of weapons. The receivers or the tight ends were not helping him. First play of the game, I will put that on Watson. The ball was a little too far out, but the rule in the NFL, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. Harrison Bryant, you got to catch it. I'm sorry. So that was 7 points, and then the strip fumble for a touchdown was another 7 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense only put up, 7 points, I think. So, I just hope that Watson does play better. I did expect him to be a little bit slow throughout the season, especially with the Bengals. Good defense, in my opinion. Steelers, great defense, league-wide opinion. So we should see him progress a little bit better, but we do need a couple of the catchers out there to step up too. Elijah Moore had the same issues week 1, not getting 2 feet in. Amari Cooper looked like he's still coming back from injury. He's not the Coop that we love and know. And same thing with the tight ends. They are doing their best. Tony impression this week as well. Not only Bryant, but Njoku had a couple drops as well. I'm just like, they did have a chance to win this game, but as soon as Chubb went down, chances dropped tremendously, took away their run game. Jerome Ford did have that one. He had that one run, but other than that, he ain't Chubb. He ain't Chubb.
In there. He's not Chubb. Obviously not Chubb.
Yeah.
But he had some stuff in there. Showed some burst. There was another one where he looked bottled up on the sideline and took it for 9.
Yeah.
I don't think he's horrible. He's obviously not Nick Chubb, but I think he's worth a waiver wire ad for sure, based on how they use their running backs.
Until they get Kareem Hunt, but yes.
I mean, somebody tweeted this, and I agree. They already picked Jerome Ford over Kareem Hunt once.
Yes.
They did this once before, so it's not a guarantee they'll go out and go get Hunt. They believe in Ford. That's why Kareem Hunt doesn't have a job currently. So,
Well, they believe in Ford behind Chubb. They don't have a veteran anymore, and I doubt that they run with him and Pierre Strong for the rest of the season. So they're gonna have to pick up somebody.
We'll see if they decide to do anything. Cam Akers is also out there on the trade block. They might go add him to the mix because who knows what type of Chubb we're gonna get back if he ever comes back. So they might need to go ahead and address the position permanently. My big takeaway though is buy Elijah Moore. He got the targets, just a lot of fluky either bad positioning of the ball or him not being able to get the second leg in. But he was very close to having a big game last night. If you have an opportunity to go get him, go get him. Browns aren't necessarily reeling, but that AFC North is looking just confusing. Nobody looks dominant necessarily, so even though your boys are struggling right now, who knows? You know, if they figure it out in time, the AFC North is still wide open.
Saying last time we were 0-2, we went to the playoffs and
That's
the Super
true.
Bowl, so
I don't think y'all lost. I don't think y'all lost Burrow after that, but I digress.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Thoughts?
Watch your mouth. Burrow, get some help, get some rest. Praying for you. Chubb,
Chris will probably send you his calf, Burrow. Just
my calf isn't big enough.
I was about to say, just sign something for him, whether it be a jersey or something. I'm sure he'll send you his calf through the mail.
So that's that. Week 2 wrap up. On the week 3, and I got you, Amal. Catch y'all next time.
Yeah.